The Tie and Hoodie Show is sponsored by ICCLending.com. For real estate service, please go to ICCLending.com.
3, 2, 1.
Every human came to earth with a gift, and they must discover that gift and refine that gift for them to be fulfilled.
The prerequisite for spending time with any person is that they nourish and inspire you. They feed your flame.
Yo, hey man, how you work this radio?
You're not listening to the Tie and Hoodie Show.
Keep it locked.
Owning a home and paying it off is one of the data points of an everyday millionaire.
Home sales across the U.S. are on the rise as buyers take advantage of record low mortgage rates.
Good morning. Now let's get back to the Tie and Hoodie Show.
Good morning. It's the world famous Tie and Hoodie Show right here on 93.5 KDAY. Each and every Sunday morning, 6:30 to 7 a.m. I'm your host, Trey. My co-host, man, he out of town. He done ducked and dodged on me, spending big money. He coming back from Colorado working on a real estate situation. But I'm going to hold it down this morning. But it's with no further ado, it's my pleasure to hang out with a guy that I know. He's helped me with some situations with my son. I've watched him with his son. He's a great dude in the community. He has a great nonprofit foundation. He has a little one coming up that, that might be a Hall of Famer. I've seen him on the sidelines myself. And he's a coach. He's a dude with a tremendous past that's come through and put some stuff together and now transitioned it to the community. So I want to introduce everybody, from KDAY listeners to our YouTube channel subscribers to the one and only Gary Bryant Sr. What's up, my brother?
Right, top of the top. How you feeling, my brother?
Man, I can't be mad if I get to hang out with you on this Sunday morning. So, it's always a blessing to get some game from you and talk that talk.
No, that's real, man. God is good. God is good, bro.
Definitely. For our KDAY listeners, they might be saying, well, who is Gary Bryant Sr.? First of all, I want everybody in Los Angeles to stand up and really recognize the name Gary Bryant, because you will be hearing that from this fall. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk a little bit about that later on. This fall, you will be hearing that name a lot on ESPN and all the other sports, Fox and all the other sports channels. But we're going to talk to the dad right now, Gary Bryant Sr. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your past of what you've come from and overcame.
Right. First, let me say I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here and, basically give me the platform to basically push forward. My main thing is giving back to these youth. Mm-hmm. In regards to me coming up, I made bad decisions. Wanted to run with the wrong crew. And I always say, if you hang out with dogs, you will get fleas. That's one thing I always say.
I hear you tell that to your team, your team a lot, and that's something I do like, that quote right there.
Right, and then I played ball. I was good, offers and everything. And then the next thing you know, I decided I wanted to chase tail and just basically make bad decisions. So and with that said, I always say it's not about how you fall, but how you get back up. Uh-huh. So then, I made the bad decisions, of course, but then I bounced back. I went to school for business management. I bounced back. I went to work at a nice job, a warehouse, and then I ended up being a supervisor. So then what I did is I started taking those different traits and things that I've learned from the business academy and all the different things, and I put it on the football field. So then from there, I started coaching. Wow. I started displaying, and I feel like it's a gift because I started coaching track, football, baseball, and just giving back. And I had GB1, that's Gary, that's what we call him, GB1, start coaching him in track. I ended up having the top track team in the country. Uh-huh. And it was a blessing. And then from there, I started coaching youth football, where my team started to excel from Little Moreno Valley. We were from Little Moreno Valley and started expanding and beating all the teams from everywhere. Went to the Snoop League, won, and then from there on, it just started excelling. So that's one thing I would have to say. Don't give up. Your past does not have to validate your future. That's one thing I would always have to say.
And I think that's important for our listeners to understand and the people watching. Like, I think, and especially in our community, we get stuck in a realm to where we think like, hey, this is me now, so this will be me forever. You can make the changes, and it's all right to make the positive changes, you know what I'm saying, and teach the youth to not to do the same thing that you've already done. And don't be ashamed to talk about it. Something that I hear you talk about whenever, and I know it's not planned, whenever I pop up on you from when you at the park to at the arenas or taking the kids down to USC, I hear you telling these kids, hey, you know what I'm saying, don't make no excuses. Let's get the job done. Let's figure it out. And that's something that, you know, that's why I want to invite you on and talk to you, you know what I'm saying, and have our KDAY listeners listen to you.
Right. And yeah, you know, that's one of my famous lines, excuses for losers.
Yeah.
You know, I remember talking to one of my homies in LA, and he would say, I didn't choose this life chose me. And, you know, I kind of had to sit back and look at him like, man, okay, I get that, but then you can make a decision to get out. I believe in energy.
Okay.
So I really believe in whatever you speak into existence. You know, words are like spells. That's why we call it spelling.
Yeah.
So if you say, I can't, then you just spoke into the universe that you can't.
Yeah.
So we have to be more positive in the things that we say. You got to wake up every morning. Every morning you wake up is a gift. You were blessed. You woke up. So you got to always give that positive energy. And that's what I'm doing with these young men. I'm trying to teach them different things. I'm trying to show them different things, because if you see it, you can have it. That's why we took trips to USC. We went to Corona Centennial. We go to all these different functions, not to show off, but to show these kids that, look, you can have this. You got to claim it.
And because you know, with me having a radio background, and you know, we're gonna touch on something real quick, because I know me and you have talked about it on the phone. It's like when you try to do things for everybody else, sometimes the people around might misinterpret it, the information, as like maybe showing off. And you and thing you that we both talked about. Well, I'm just trying to introduce you to my world to let you know if I did it as you did it, it's possible.
Right. Right.
So I think that's important for these kids to know, because I see you have a lot of guest speakers come out, and we're not talking about little time, we're talking about big time NFL guys and USC legends that come talk to your kids on a weekly basis, if not, you know, twice or two or three times a week. And I just want these parents to know, you know, from my perspective, I've been there. Like, hey, this is the things I try to introduce to my kids. And, you know, in my communities, I try to integrate, you know, the radio world with the people around me. And sometimes it's just misinterpreted. But these parents got to know, and these people got to know, like, hey, it's important. And I want everybody to listen that's listening throughout Los Angeles. It's important for your kids to meet success, not for the fact to say they want to be superstars, but to understand that those people were just like them at some point in time.
Right. No, I agree. You know, I always say you never know who's watching.
Yeah.
And you can be the vehicle to someone else's salvation. I don't even know if you know this, but even with yourself, your story, you know, me and you talk a lot, and
yeah.
And the platform that you've been on, people probably can't even fathom who the people that you met. And I listened to your story, and I'm like, man, this dude has been there, but you're so humble, and you don't really see it with a lot of people like that. And that gives me inspiration. Yeah. You know, as we talk, I'm like, man, this guy, you know, he's and you're always trying to help people, and that's a blessing. And you know, and that inspires me. And and that's one thing I say about these coaches: you can never stop evolving. You got to keep going. And I'm always learning. I learn from you.
Yeah.
So I think that's important for us to know out there. And these people out there, don't never get too high. You know, I do agree to separate, to elevate, you must separate. I agree with that. You got to separate yourself. But, you know, again, I want to commend you. You really give me a lot of inspiration.
No, I appreciate it. And I think that's why we get along so much, because we kind of got the same kind of background story. Now, you know, we didn't talk about GB, you know, Senior. Let's talk a little bit about GB Senior as of right now, what you got, you know, in the present. We talked about his past, the present. What's going on with you right now? I know you got one of the #1 teams in the country in the youth football. Every time I go out there, they banging pads. You've been around some of the kids that turned in to transition to go to college. You transitioned some kids to the NFL. Let's talk about you as a man in the community and why you do what you do right now.
Right, man. You know, I'm trying to get back. That's the main thing. Like I said, your past does not have to define your future.
Yeah.
And currently, right now, I'm coaching with the OG Ducks. We call ourselves the Duffelback Boys. You know, I'm branding that. That's my name, the Duffelback Boys. It's a California takeover,
Yeah.
and we just won the national championship in Florida for last year. Right now, we're coming in as probably the number one, number two team in the country, number one in California, hands down. So we've been actually practicing. I'm getting these boys ready. In regards to GB1, Gary Bryant Jr., I took that particular group of young men and I raised them and took them all the way from the second grade all the way to college. And now I have 3 boys at USC. So I have about 13 boys that's actually playing D1 football as we speak. God is good. And you know, one of my boys, Jaden Woodby, he was a freshman All-American. He was at Florida State. Now he's at Boston. So basically, I'm just going hard. I'm pounding the pavement, and I'm trying to show these young men, because to me, it's bigger than football. A scoreboard does not define a win or loss. If you got better, you're good. My main focus is to get these young men to college. That's it. And winning is just a bonus that comes along with that. So that's why I'm right now. I'm trying to develop these young men and trying to build student athletes. And that's exactly what we're doing. If you come to my practice, you'll see the character. We like you said, we bring out these top-notch pros. We bring out coaches, NFL coaches. You know, we talk to the coaches over there at USC. We do the Zooms, and these young men are seeing, Coach, I can have this. Yes, you can. You got to claim it.
And I think that's like I said, something that's also additionally important is people like you need to be highlighted, you know, like we call them hometown heroes in the community, because a lot of people, you know, we've both been blessed to be around success stories and watch them grow into something. And I think a lot of people just see these guys on TV and be like, oh man, this dude had it made. He was just born a hell of an athlete, or this guy just, you know, it's eye candy. No. Like there's coaches like you that push them on holidays, like Coach Jackson, Coach you know, like Coach Burns. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Let's go either work out in the morning or after dinner. It's Christmas. Let's go get a workout in the afternoon after you open your gifts. And I think it's important for people to know that there's so many coaches in the community that are the key to the community and the success of a lot of these urban legends.
Right. I agree. You know, I always say football is only 80% mental.
Yeah.
I mean, 80% physical. It's 20%. It's 80% mental. It's only 20% physical.
Yeah.
And you get what you put into it. And a lot of people looking at my son, he came in as probably like the top receiver in California, number 8 overall, but they don't understand the grind that went behind it. It was sacrifice for me. I would get off from work and, you know, Gary would do his homework. And then I'm like, let's go. And we would end up not coming back home until about 8 or 9 at night. And then we would I would put him on the bike and put the ankle weights on him. And we would drive across the whole city of Moreno Valley while he got on ankle weights. And, you know, and then I believe in, you know, muscle memory. So I would make him do a whole track regimen prior to football practice because he would have heavy legs. So there's different things that we would do. People don't know. He wasn't just, he had to morph himself into that, you know, so it don't just happen, you know. And, you know, I do believe that greatness starts early, but you have to put in the grind. What you put in, that's what you get out of it.
Yes, it's definitely like, you know, I heard a man say, hey, you're going to work hard. So either you're going to work hard now or you're going to work hard later, but you're going to work hard. You know what I'm saying? So we may, you know, us, you know, as young men, we working hard a little later on in life, but we figured it out. And now we're just trying to transition to our kids to work hard sooner. I want to talk a little bit about, have you noticed, because, you know, we about the same, have you noticed like in the community as far as, let's go like minority dads. Minority dads are getting more involved and you know, it's a good thing to see, like you see yourself. We go to practices now and you see more Black dads or Hispanic dads or Samoan dads. And then before it used to be always the moms at practices, and shout out to the moms because we know they're the backbone of the household. But now it's a beautiful thing to see dads everywhere with their kids. And someone that you know coach as many kids as you coach and around the United States, are you seeing the same thing? The fad of more and more dads getting involved with kids' lives?
Man, wholeheartedly, yes, I do, and I love it. And you know, like I said, people like yourself and myself, they look at us and they say, you know what, these guys are doing it. we're leading by example, and then they do it. So we do see, and then I have the dads that come over on the sideline, and they come over to me and like, hey, I love what you're doing, this and that. So basically, you know, that energy that we're giving, it's contagious, and we got to continue doing that. And like I said, you're out there, you can walk down the street and you can mean mug somebody, and he mean mug you back. I have people mean mug me, and I say, how you doing, King? And he'll kind of, it's all about the energy you give to people. Yep. Don't get affected by the negative. So I think I would say this to everyone out there. You give that positive energy, it's going to come back. I believe in karma. So we got to continue. But yeah, I do. And I love our queens. They doing their thing. We got to have each other's back. You know, so I do see that. And, you know, it's contagious. We got to keep it up.
We definitely got to keep the positivity up in our community. Hey, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to the one and only Gary Bryant Sr. Like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about GB1, which is Gary Bryant Jr. in a moment. You're going to hear a lot about that name on ESPN and all the sports channels, and every sports commentator is going to be mentioning his name pretty soon. Let's talk a little bit about where you going at. You know what I'm saying? What's the plans? I know you got definitely continue on coaching. I know you got a nonprofit. Is there an email or something that we can give to people to let them know to stay in tune with the foundation, which you got, because you do take a team cross country, and we do know that, you know what I'm saying, as a community, we have to support coaches and brothers like you in order for these kids to, you know, stay on that success path.
Right. You know, the nonprofit is coming through. It's going to be in about 30 days.
Okay.
Right now, they can hit me on my IG at Gary Bryant 701. That's on the IG. More information will be put out there. Again, I'm trying to build a brand. Duffel Bag Boys 100 California certified. We are the California Duffel Bag Boys. OG Ducks 9U. My young men are 9. But you know, I want everyone to experience this. I don't care what nationality you are, because I'm a firm believer that we're all brothers and sisters. We come from the same creator. So I want us all to be successful. So the journey is on, you know, and as for GB1, the chapter is closed for him. He's on a whole nother platform. But for my baby KB1, he's just beginning. And for these young men right now, we're going to go out here and get another title. You know, that's what we're working on right now.
That's definitely the plan for this year. I want to ask one more question, you know, to you personally. As far as a man, we have categories where, you know, as our day breaks up, we have our household, we have our income situation, whether it's job or whatnot, and then we have, you know what I'm saying, like your coaching. How is it you deal with that all mentally, and you put all that, you know what I'm saying, put the city on your back like that, where you could take this in each and every day? Because I know I was telling, you know what I'm saying, a couple people, like, I'm not taking away nothing the woman does, but I'm not a woman, so I don't understand what they day goes through. But as a man, like you said something that was real, that hit me earlier. You said, hey, when you see a brother and he's staring you up and down, you say, hey, what's up, King? We deal with that competitiveness from the time we wake up to going to the grocery store to get the turkey, bacon, and eggs, to going to work, and then going to deal with parents as coaches. How is it that as a minority man and a black man, you deal with that day to day, and what are some things you do to relieve the stress off yourself, you know, and things you go about doing?
Right. Well, one thing I can say, I stay prayed up. I pray before I even leave the sanctuary, before I even leave the castle. I stay prayed up, and you know, it's bigger than me. You know, like I said, we are vehicles for other people.
Yeah.
And you know, I go back to my past and I look at young men that are now deceased. And, you know, since I've been coaching, I have about 4 young babies that are dead now. We just buried one of my boys. He passed away about 4 days ago in a motorcycle accident. And I have to say this from the depths of my heart, parents, the shortcut is not always the best way. Yeah. You know, I have 4 babies that are now deceased. And I told the parents, man, if they go to these schools and this and that, these boys would be scholarship up, and the parents would say, well, you know what, we're going to stay here. This is convenient. Well, you know what, you get what you put into it. So these particular boys stayed where they were at, and they were the top athletes, but they didn't get any offers. So this baby that we just buried a couple of days ago, I personally feel he would have been sitting in somebody's dorm, not driving up and down the freeway. And I'm not knocking anyone's family.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm gonna let that sink in. We have to let that sink in. The shortcut is not always the best way, because if you cut circles and you cut angles, it's going to catch you and nip you in the butt.
Yes,
so
sir.
That's one thing I would have to say in regards to me. In my everyday, I stay prayed up and I give positive, and it always comes back to me. Karma's everything. So that's pretty much where I'm at.
That's good info. Now I know we can talk about GB let's get into it. We got about 10 minutes left. Let's talk about GB1, which is Gary Bryant Jr. And let's talk. I don't want to leave out KB1 because I'm gonna remember this one day. Like, oh yeah, we was talking about KB1 when he was 9 years old. KB1 is the youngest of your sons. And you know what I'm saying, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Let's talk about the little KB1 and the 9U team and what they've accomplished. And then let's, like I said, we got 10 minutes, but I definitely want to give the respect to GB1 and what he's done.
Right. In regards to my babies, 8U, we went out there, we won the championship, and we went to Florida. We went to a national tournament, we won. We were the first team in the history of the tournament to ever give up 0 points.
Okay.
We went out there and did our thing. And I believe this team is special, just like Gary's team. We got some dogs on there, boys that will go D1. As long as the parents believe in the process and trust the blueprint, these boys are going to go far. And I got a young man coming away from Arizona.
Yeah.
I got somebody from San Diego. And mind you, I'm in Corona. I got somebody coming from Barstow. So my particular team, this is an investment. It's not recreational. So these people are coming from a long distance to come get these gems. And it's a beautiful thing. KB1, his work ethic is on another level. If you go to my IG, you will see we're always grinding.
Yeah.
His main thing is he said, Dad, I'm gonna be better than my brother. I'm not gonna be in the shadow. And I respect that. I said, son, you claim it, make it happen. And I'm just putting it out there and letting him follow.
Yes, sir. And the IG is at Gary Bryant 701. Let's talk about GB1. He's a wide receiver at the University of Southern California. Some of us call it the University of South Central. So let's talk about him. He's definitely on the platform. He's a guy that keep an eye out for. He's elusive. He's fast. He's swift. He has nothing less than ethical NFL ethic. As far as his off-season workout, what's some things, how you feel as a dad when you see, your son, I seen him last year return the punt against UCLA. I seen him make a couple catches here and there as a freshman. Like, how does that feel as a dad, to see what